and he scores! Welcome to Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. I promise the camera is on. It's just really dark here right now. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Boy, it looked dicey there for a few hours this afternoon, but we are here, we are live, and we are ready to go for the Prowlers and the Binghamton Black Bears about half an hour later than we were expecting to drop the puck, but it has been a long, tough day for the Port Huron Prowlers travel-wise. They finally did make it to the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena, and they are ready to go. They actually didn't all take warm-ups. Alex Johnson was the first Prowler out for warm-ups and then eventually joined by his teammates as warm-ups continued on. Prowlers got here about 5 to 10 minutes before warm-ups actually began. I got all of my stuff set up, so we're ready to go here on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Before we take a look at tonight's game, take a look back at the last game for these two teams. And for the Black Bears, it was a spanking of the Watertown Wolves, 9-2 here in this building. CJ Stubbs had 5 points as Binghamton established dominance atop the Empire Division. After sweeping the Wolves, they've taken an 8-point lead atop the division, and again, a no doubt victory here on Saturday night in Binghamton. Meanwhile, for the Prowlers, their worst weekend certainly of the season so far. A 5-2 loss to the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They're swept by Danbury. Hat-Tricks jump past the Port Huron Prowlers after winning back-to-back games for the very first time this year. Johnny Ruiz with 4 points in that game. Joe Frazee, though, for the Prowlers, has had a power play goal in 3 straight games. As we take a look at the standings, again, the Black Bears high atop the division with some breathing room on the Wolves. A little bit of shuffling down there in the middle. Hat-Tricks move above the Prowlers. Rockers have moved past the Hudson Valley Venom and into that final playoff spot, at least for right now. Dasher's still down there at the bottom after they were swept by Motor City. But Dakota Bond has yet to find the back of the net this season, but he does have 14 assists. He'll be in the starting lineup for the Binghamton Black Bears this year. Tied for the FPHL's lead in assists by a defenseman this year, and that's the most assists by any player this season in the FPHL without a goal. Stefan DC is the new face for the Port Huron Prowlers tonight. He's playing in the MyHL over in his native Switzerland to begin this year. 10 goals, 16 points in 18 games. He'll try to fill up the hole in the lineup that has been created with Jake Vaughn signing in the SPHL with the Quad City Storm. As the Black Bears have hit the ice, we are still waiting for the Prowlers to do so. Again, Port Huron, if you're just joining us, pretty behind right now in this game as they arrived just about 10 minutes before the Black Bears took the ice for warm-ups, and looks like they'll continue on with the national anthem and the rest of the pregame ceremony, so we'll take a pause for that, as hopefully we'll get the Prowlers hitting the ice fairly shortly. Looks like they are going to wait for the Prowlers to hit the ice here tonight before we get the choir going for tonight's national anthem from Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Let's give you a quick look at the Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers for this hockey game. Before we do so, up front it will be Joel Frazee, Tristan Sim, and Daniel Chartrand. Defense pairing Alex Johnson, and in between the pipes tonight, Reed Cooper making his second start as a Prowler, and certainly trying to bounce back from what was a tough first start last weekend against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Again, this is not any kind of protest by the Prowlers, as they're still in their lockers now, finally starting to hit the ice. They literally just got here about half an hour ago, just pulled up to the arena, so finally they're able to take to the ice and get ready to go. And we'll see how they're able to start this hockey game with very limited time to warm up and prepare. But now we'll take you down to ice level for the rest of the pregame ceremonies.
Performing our national anthem tonight, we welcome Gander High School Choir.
Tonight's national anthem from Visions Veterans Memorial Arena here in Binghamton. Prowlers and Black Bears, against all odds, will drop the puck on time, well, at least a little bit on time, half an hour late than originally scheduled, but they've made it, and we are set to go. Here are tonight's starting goaltenders for this matchup. Reed Cooper had a tough first outing against the Danbury Hat-Tricks last weekend. He'll try and bounce back in his second start as a Prowler, taking on the Black Bears backup, Nolan Egbert, who has an impressive 5-1 record, and even that much more impressive considering his .881 save percentage. As you see Egbert right there on your screen. We are then just moments away from puck drop. It has been a long day for the Port Huron Prowlers, from buses to vans, and any way they could make it here to Visions Veterans Memorial Arena, they did. And now they're on the ice just minutes after pulling up to the arena. And they are set to go. It will be Tyson Kirkby, the Black Bears captain and leader in goals, assists, and points, taking the draw against Tristan Sim to open this game up. And everything that happened today no longer matters, as it's time for hockey. And we're underway as Kirkby gets an early push to the net. His shot stopped by Cooper. Rebound push back on goal, and Cooper gathers it in for a save, and he hangs on for a whistle in the face-off, as that was Dakota Bond flying in to try and grab that loose puck. And as we mentioned in the pregame show, the very brief pregame show, Bond leads the FPHL in assists by any player without a goal this season. He has 14 helpers, no goals. Quick shot stopped by Cooper. That was Austin Thompson right in the slot. It got past Dan Stone at the line, hustling after it and winning the race is Daniel Chartrand. Played it behind the net, Stone first there. chased out by Frazee. And now Thompson slows things down. Quick up to Don Olivieri, number 13. As the Black Bears offside at the Prowler line. Olivieri did not play against the Prowlers in either of the first 2 games between these teams this season. But he does have 14 points in 9 games, playing up front tonight. Occasionally does play defense as well. Prowlers have a line out right now. Kenny Stiles, Tucker Scantleberry, and Reggie Millette, who is returning to the lineup after an injury on November the 16th against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Prowlers certainly happy to have him back, although the Black Bears fans last time he was in this building gave him the boos every time he touched the puck. And it begins again as he tried to work it to Scantleberry. Anderson shoved into the wall by Scantleberry. Out come the Black Bears. It's Yates skating into it. Working on Lockhart, slips on by. Puck goes around behind the net, and Yates gloves it down the corner. Sends it back to the point towards Weber. Walks down the wall to the middle of the ice. Bounced back by Johnson, and then Kyle Steffen fanned on an attempt towards the net. Millette able to get to Stiles. Makes a move and plays it softly off the boards so his team can get a change. Weber comes flying back up for Binghamton. Walks in, shot it just wide, came out back in front, rattles around, and Cooper is on top of it for a whistle and a faceoff. That came off the backboards, lively bounce off the back wall, right through Cooper's legs out front, and they tried to tuck it around him, and Reed Cooper laid down right on top of the puck. So some tense moments early on for the Prowlers. They send out Matt Graham, Austin Federley, and Stefan Dietze, the new signing for Port here on number 29 in white. As Cooper has to corral that purposeful bounce off the back wall from Poirier. Dietze signed on Wednesday, played his entire career so far in his native Switzerland. 6 years, including this one in the MyHL, also some Swiss League experience for him. And there's his first touch as a Port Huron Prowler. As it comes to Poirier, he starts to work up ice. Graham in on him. Stopped up right in front of the Prowler bench. And now back for it is Emerson Emery, number 10. Working up is Cam Clark, who spent some time in the SPHL, but was returned this week. Here is Clark, all the way in, coast to coast, a save by Cooper, as he got the right pad down. Adam Heinzel behind his own net. Steps out, gives it up to Federley. Makes a move around Kirkby. Federley lost it to Henry. Caden Henry with a shot. That one hit iron. Maybe Cooper, but not the post. Bond off the far wall, right to Thompson. He's trying to slip past Parsons, pardon me. Kirkby out high to Stone. D to D Bond. To Olivieri, one-timer, steered to the corner by Cooper. And now Ludwig Felstrom. Back behind his own net. 3 minutes gone in period 1. Prowlers have survived some pushes from the Black Bears. Binghamton with the only 5 shots on net so far in this game. Here's Bond looking for more. Right up to Kirkby. Back across towards Bond, and that was partially impeded by a Prowler stick, and Bond couldn't get a clean shot away. Parsons up the boards, bounced past Bond, and sent out by Chartrand. Olivieri looking, gives it to Bond. And the return feed to Don Olivieri. Little toe drag to the middle, but his pass cut off by Stiles. Plays it around the board. Stone down and around. Felstrom gets to it ahead of Kirkby. Ludwig Felstrom with some skating room. Over to Chartrand. Dumps it around the wall, and Stiles first one on it in the corner. Taken in by Bond. Lofted around to the far side. Johnson fresh off the bench. Down low, Millette in front, and Stiles stopped by Nolan Egbert. Grade A opportunity for the Prowlers for their first shot of the game. Stone lifts that one out, kicked back by Johnson. And now Yates on the left wing side. Drop pass for Stubbs. Pass down low, impeded by a Prowler stick. And now it's up to Stiles, working one-on-one against Weber. But Anderson came back to play some defense, and Stiles forced to dump it around. Anderson gave it away to Scantleberry, then he in turn gave it to Gavin Yates. 2-on-2 rush. Yates, little toe drag, nice poke by Petrovitsin to get it off his stick. Scantleberry lost it, gets the red line though. He sends a cross corner dump in before going for a change. Yates, indirect pass, bounced back by Heinzel. And Anderson drops it off for Weber. He works in. Outside try, gloved and held by Reed Cooper. That one off the stick of Zach Sirota. Tick over, 5 minutes gone in period one. Prowlers surviving an early push from the Binghamton Black Bears. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Back here in Binghamton, still no score. Tick over, 5 minutes gone in period one. They did not give Kenny Stiles credit for a shot on goal in that earlier chance, so still no shots yet for the Prowlers, 6 for Binghamton. And this certainly was going to be a storyline coming into this one. The way everything went down for the Prowlers travel-wise today, Black Bears were certainly going to have some quick legs early, trying to take advantage of a Port Huron group that just got out of the cars about half an hour before puck drop, and not all of them even took warm-ups. So Prowlers surviving so far, and we'll see if they can get something going the other way. But here's Clark, spinorama off the back of the cage, and Petrovitsin had his dump attempt blocked by Sirota. Federley able to poke it through Mott, and Adam Heinzel first one on it. He gets the red line, chips it around. Egbert backing out of his net, rimmed up the wall, finds Weber. Delstrom couldn't handle it as that puck was bouncing and skipping. Sim back for Parsons, and Brian Parsons has some skating room. He'll move up ice. That one dumped in, and Luke James first on in the corner. Out high, Thelstrom wrists it towards the net. That one deflected high and wide. Olivieri chased down by Chartrand, who lifts his stick. They're tied up behind the net. Olivieri goes off the wall. Thompson plays it back for Olivieri. 3-on-2 for Binghamton if they hurry. Here's Anderson on the left wing. Drop for Olivieri. Nice poke by Chartrand on the back check. Thompson to the net. Knocked down by Chartrand. And Daniel Chartrand working up. Has some help. Chartrand dumped it around though as he was collapsed on by all three Black Bears that were back. Luke James is the first one on it behind the net. He's surrounded by 3 green jerseys. Chartrand in there to help out digging away. Well, it's pulled out by the Black Bears captain Kirkby. Now Stubbs to Kirkby. Has Stubbs going to the net. Tried to slide it there. Good stick lift by Alex Johnson to keep that from connecting. Stubbs off the boards, out high to Emery. D-to-D pass, Poirier. Down off the back wall. Kirkby up high to Poirier. Floated it towards the net, goes off the glass, may have hit the dasher, pops straight up in the air, and Lockhart able to find it first. Now the Prowlers are the 3-on-2 if they hurry. James went for a change though. Here's Millette cutting to the middle of the ice, sidesteps a check. Johnson in front, that was blocked by a sliding Poirier. No, one-timer, they score! Tucker Scantleberry, as Johnson was able to put it back to the middle of the ice again. Scantleberry converts, and it's the Prowlers who have the 1-0 lead. After the first chance in front for Alex Johnson was blocked, he got it back. Scantleberry coming late able to set up right on the back door, and Johnson found him. That is the first shot of the game for the Port Huron Prowlers, and it beats Egbert 1-0 Port Huron. And you talk about a big goal, as Binghamton certainly had its opportunities to get off to a hot start in this game and take advantage of the Prowlers situation. Stubbs over to Bond, back to Stubbs. Drop for Stefan at the line. That one changed direction and ended up behind the net. Now Stubbs taken into the wall by Federley. Stefan trying to drag around Heinzel. Now works up the boards. Out high, Stone had to knock it down to the net off the back wall. And it stayed behind the net before Federley knocked it up. And now Graham is trying to send Dietze in. He and Yates tie up. Yates turning away from Stefan Dietze. Now Yates off to Stone. Bounce off the wall right to Thelstrom. He retreats into his own end. And Ludwig Thelstrom finds Tucker Scantleberry, the goal scorer. Now for Parsons. Has Millette and Stiles with him, but his pass ended up on Anderson's tape. And now off the turnover, here's Stiles working in. Saved by Egbert. They blow it dead, though, as Egbert was bowled into. And now Millette being grabbed. And now Scantleberry throwing with Anderson in the corner. Anderson with a couple of rights. Scantleberry trying to get that right arm free. Scantleberry with a couple of rights. Now they're tied up, and Scantleberry tackles Anderson down to the ice. And Tucker Scantleberry, an assist away from the Gordie Howe hat trick, hyping up his bench. And this all started as Scantleberry and Anderson were tied up. Scantleberry's going towards the net, and then they decide to drop the mitts. After Stiles got the steal, put it on net. Actually, Scantleberry just ran over Egbert as Egbert came out past the blue paint. So goaltender's kind of sort of fair game once he's outside the blue paint. We'll see what happens here, though. At least Scantleberry is getting the original penalty, and that is the case. So goaltender interference, I believe, is the call against Tucker Scantleberry. So it will be a Black Bears power play. 11:32 left to go in period one. Prowlers will have to send out the shorthanded unit. They are second in the league on the PK at 84%. Killed off 6 of 8 Denbury attacks on the man advantage last weekend. But the Black Bears are good as well on the power play. Third in the league, just under 23%. They had 4 power play goals on 12 opportunities last weekend against Watertown. And all 4 of those power play goals came in the 9-2 rout on Saturday. That pass handcuffed Bond. He's able to pick it up off the wall and down to Kirkby. Across, Olivieri swung and missed on the one-timer. And Luke James able to dump it out. It's Kirkby, Bond, Olivieri, Clark, and Thompson on this power play unit for Binghamton. As Clark looks to head up ice. Saucer pass, gloved down by Kirkby. And now indirect feed finds Clark. Tried to center, fanned, and Lockhart sends it all the way down. 40 seconds gone on the goalie interference penalty to Tucker Scantleberry, being served by Nikita Petroditsin. Bond drops it for Clark. He works through some traffic at the Prowler blue line. Now Clark turning on Heinzel in the corner. Heinzel's lost his stick. Here's Kirkby looking for a pass. Heinzel recollects his twig as Parsons is in on Clark. Loose puck held up along the back wall before it comes out to Clark. Bond at the top, winds over, Olivieri scores! Donald Olivieri puts it home on the one-timer. Parsons is tied up with Clark. That's a power play goal for Binghamton to tie the score. The Black Bears had plenty of space up high after the puck came out of the corner. Looks like Clark and Parsons will be headed to the penalty boxes. This is a 1-1 hockey game. Don Olivieri will pick up his 7th goal of the season, team high 6th on the man advantage. And we'll see if this affects on-ice manpower as Tyson Kirkby and Austin Federley, the two captains, over there chatting with the referees. It's been a fiery start to this one. Referees tonight are William Lyons and Chris Russo, the linesman Chris Forden, and former Binghamton Black Bear Jake Schultz. This has been a wild start to this one. Prowlers scored the first goal. Looks like they're giving Clark and Parsons matching fighting majors. Trying to settle everything down, gain a little control of this game. As that will already be the second fighting major, or second fight, I guess, handed out. After Scantleberry and Anderson went early on. Looks like we'll have 5-a-side hockey as the Black Bears tie it up. It's Olivieri from Bond and Anderson. So Dakota Bond up to 15 assists this season, the most by any defenseman in the FPHL. Matt Graham for the Prowlers still leading the league in assists with 16 overall. Now Millette behind the net off the steal. That one pinballed back behind the cage. Stubbs and James take each other down. Now Stiles trying to pull it away from Bond. It bounces to Stone, and now Yates has a man breaking it, Steffen. Instead he goes all the way across to Stubbs. Two Prowlers on him, so he gets it deep, and Lockhart looks to turn it back the other way. Lockhart slides it to Johnson. Now for Millette. Stone went to play the body on Reggie Millette, but ended up falling down. Yates couldn't go up for that with the glove, and now Federley over to Graham. Drop back for Austin Federley to the net. Kick saved by Egbert. And then Federley take it in by Steffen. Stubbs lost it to Graham. And it slides across. Thelstrom skates into it. Toe drag shot. Blocker down by Egbert. Graham back on net, and Egbert forced to make another save with his own defenseman screening him. Dietze in on the forecheck. Black Bears can't get it out as it was knocked down by Stone. And Bond behind his own cage, watched by Dietze. Steffen able to launch it out just before Dietze came in with the stick lift. This one will just not have enough for icing. So Binghamton able to make a change. And Adam Heinzel hangs out behind his own net. Over to Thelstrom, poked off his stick by Henry. Aiden Henry, first one on that puck. Black Bears trying to cycle in the corner. It's Mott. Over to Sirota, who scored the game-winning goal the last time these two teams met up. That was a 2-0 Black Bears win back in early November. Comes to Dietze, has a man breaking down the backside. It's Sim, and he's stopped by Egbert with Weber draped all over him. Sirota gives it up to Poirier. Quick up, tipped in by Mott, and Cooper out of his goal crease to play it. He was going to let it go, but instead decides to cover up as he had Henry bearing down on him. 8:01 left to go in period one. We're tied up at 1 between the Prowlers and the Black Bears here in Binghamton.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not...
Not a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
back here in Binghamton. Black Bears had the first 6 shots of the game. Prowlers scored on their first, and Binghamton got a power play goal after that. Shots right now 7-5 in favor of the Black Bears. It's been feisty to start off, 2 fights already so far. And 2 aside in each penalty box, still serving those majors. As Frazee able to one-hand it out. Here's Tristan Sim, enters the zone with Chartrand, tried to pass it off to him. Chartrand, bumped by Thompson. Now Sim pulls it off the wall, slips a pass through to Johnson. From the outside, played it off the side of the goal. And now Weber to his own corner. Now he works up the left wing side. Little toe drag around Chartrand, hands off to Thompson. Out to Olivieri on the outside, to the net. That was blocked on the way through. Lockhart leaves it for Johnson. That was trouble. Lockhart able to pull it away from Olivieri, but then Kirkby came in and knocked it away. Good play by Frazee, just to bang it out of the zone. As the Black Bears almost took advantage of a turnover. Delayed offsides against Binghamton, so Kirkby has to go back out to touch up. Johnson, quick up to Millette. Reggie Millette pulls up. Bounces it around the wall. Stiles gets there with Bond. And it pops out for James. Dangles to the front. Millette, backhand save by Egbert. Delayed penalty coming up against the Black Bears. And Stone touches up. A hooking call coming against CJ Stubbs. Luke James draws a penalty. And the Prowlers will go to their first man advantage of the night, trying to match the Black Bears' power play goal. Port Huron power play tied for 4th in the league, 22.7%. And they did have 2 power play goals against Danbury last weekend, both off the stick of Joel Frazee. A little bit of a different look for this unit for the Prowlers as Reggie Millette joins it, along with Graham, Johnson, Sim, and Federley. So Federley settles in behind his own net and starts the breakout. Sim to Millette flying up the right wing side. He stops up, gives back to Federley at the line. Walks over to Johnson, back to Federley. He walks in, Johnson takes the shot, it's blocked by Steffen. Cooper comes out to play it, and now he'll retreat behind his own net and makes a clean pass off to Federley. 45 seconds gone off the Prowlers' power play. Federley over to Millette, off his stick. He goes after it in offensive territory. Dug for in the corner. Prowlers trying to begin a change while the puck is tied up. Ends up on the far side, and Weber couldn't get it out. But Kirkby first one on it, and he'll turn the corner behind his own net. Chased out by Graham, and Kirkby now able to dump it down ice. Gloved down by Federley at the Prowler blue line. 45 seconds left on the penalty to CJ Stubbs. That pass across was knocked down by Kirkby. Weber, quick up towards Thompson. Now across to Mott in short-handed. He's met there by Thelstrom. Thelstrom took a hit. 2 Black Bears caught deep. We'll see if the Prowlers can take an advantage. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Here's Frazee. Pass back in front, but it was behind Stiles. And now Thelstrom tied up there with Steffen. Thelstrom able to push it back deep, but he hits Stiles with it, and the puck caroms out to neutral ice. Final seconds ticking off this Prowlers power play. Stone taken in by Stiles. To his side scrum as they dig away. Stubbs out of the box. Lockhart, the defenseman, in deep. Through a hit, but out comes Mott with it. Has Stubbs looking for a breakaway. Instead, Mott skates in. Oh, that was very close to offsides, but they do say it was on. Prowlers try to reverse it, and it comes back to Frazee. He leaves it there for Thelstrom and heads off for a change. Under 4.5 to go in period 1, tied up at 1 goal apiece. Quick up is to Federley. Tried to keep it moving, but it's banged back to the Prowlers zone. Johnson plays it around to Thelstrom. Off the boards. Lead pass for DC. Couldn't get it to Federley though, and Yates across to Kirkby. He moves down the boards. Kirkby all the way around the net towards Yates. Got through him. Federley trying to challenge him, and then Federley pokes it out. Dietze hustling after it. Here's Dietze. Scores! Stefan Dietze, welcome to Port Huron. He gives the Prowlers a 2-1 lead. In his first period in a Prowlers uniform, Stefan Dietze makes it count on the breakaway. He goes 5-hole on Nolan Egbert. And the Prowlers have the lead back once again. Everybody out of the penalty boxes for those fights. Port Huron has been looking for goal scoring. They brought in Dietze, who had more goals than assists this season in the MyHL. And now he has more goals than assists in the FPHL. His first as a Port Huron Prowler. As Stone wraps this one all the way around. Henry taken down by Petroditsin. It's kept in at the line by Bond. Sirota gets there ahead of Heinzel, who cancels him out along the boards. And here's Tucker Scantleberry up with Millette. That one poked back by Bond. Scantleberry's lost his stick. And now Heinzel turning on Henry, and he finds Kenny Stiles. Drop back for Petroditsin. Sirota trying to forecheck him. A couple of players came together away from the puck, as that one was deflected into the Black Bears zone. Stone all the way up towards Sirota. When taken by Parsons, goes D to D to Thelstrom. Looking towards Scantleberry, that was impeded by Kirkby. Back in comes Thompson on the outside. Shot stopped by Cooper, and the rebound rescued by Thelstrom. He lofts this one, and it's gloved down by Weber. Anderson recollects. Back across to Weber. Chased away by Sim. Now Weber trying to move around Shirtran. Kirkby dumps it around. Frazee tied up in the corner. Now Joel Frazee works up. Finds some skating room. Frazee tried to split the defense. Lost the puck. Played it in front. Nobody there except for Black Bears. Olivieri forced back by Chartrand. Now Weber starting the rush. Weber looks to drag around Parsons. Parsons takes him into the wall. Thompson takes the puck. Out high it goes to Anderson. Olivieri looking for the one-timer, but Anderson's shot blocked by Graham, as Olivieri was looking for the 1-T here on the near side. Weber lofts it towards Stefan, fresh off the bench. Icing waved off, so Lockhart forced to play it. Stefan able to steal it from him. Now Stubbs looking in front. Good play by Dietze to take it away. Now Yates has it. Rising shot caught the glass. Kept in by Poirier at the line. Down and around towards Yates. Johnson takes him in. Yates spinning out of checks. And now Poirier wrists it through off the near side boards. And Dietze couldn't tap it out. Stubbs drops it off for Stefan. Gets to the middle of the ice. His shot stopped by Cooper. No rebound. 63 seconds to go in period one. We'll take a break. Stefan Dietze with his first as a Prowler. He gives Port Huron the lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's.
back here in Binghamton, 2-1 Prowlers. Austin Federley picked up the only assist on the goal by Dietze. And Port Huron is 63 seconds away, they hope, from taking a lead into the locker room. We'll talk a little bit more about all the adversity the Prowlers are facing coming into this one during the Moses Rose's smoke break coming up at the end of this period. Off this face-off, one back by Stiles. Scantlebury couldn't dump it out. Henry chips it down below the goal line. Heinzel up in Millet's direction. Reggie Millet able to push it to the line and out. Bond hustling to keep it away from Scantlebury. Stone quick up. Was blocked away by the stick of Stiles. Cooper plays it off the back wall. And Reggie Millet looks to start up ice. He's forced back by Henry. Millet played a pass to nobody. So the Black Bears look to take advantage. Quick shot blocked by Petronitsin. Getting down, that was Henry who was able to let it go. This one will go down for icing. 15.8 seconds left to go in period one. And this line for the Prowlers will have to dig deep. Win a defensive zone faceoff and take it to the horn. Kirkby will take the faceoff against Kenny Stiles. And they don't drop it. And they will, now they'll drop it. One back by Kirkby. Stone D-to-D. Ball on the one-timer. Blocked by Scantlebury. Here comes Millet on the counter. Couldn't find a clean pass to Scantlebury. Sent back up by Heinzel. And that will do it for the opening 20 minutes here in Binghamton. The Prowlers, with everything working against them for this opening 20 minutes. Late to the game, late to warm-ups, late to hit the ice. They end up with a 2-1 lead through the first 20. Shots on goal favoring the Black Bears 9-7. And we will talk about this one and get into some more detail about exactly what went on today for the Port Huron Prowlers and why they were late to this game, why this game got pushed off. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the league, including a postponed game tonight, yet another postponement. How about yet another coaching change in the FPHL? And we'll get into the Hudson Valley Venom situation a little bit as well. Out-of-town scores coming your way too. Lots to get to here in the first Moses Rose's smoke break of tonight's game. First intermission report coming up. It is 2-1 Prowlers. Well, the Prowlers are celebrating 10 seasons in Port Huron. Now is your chance to get limited edition 10th anniversary gear at the team store. Come find us on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. It is 2-1 Prowlers through 20 minutes of play tonight in Binghamton. We'll take a break and we'll talk about it when we come back, and we'll do it here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future. by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Welcome back here to Binghamton. 20 minutes down, 40 to go in regulation, and the Prowlers, against all odds, have a 2-1 lead on the Binghamton Black Bears. And I've alluded to it, talked about it a little bit. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of exactly what went on today for the Port Huron Prowlers. Well, they left last night to get here today in plenty of time for the game, but they did not make it out of the state of Michigan until early morning as bus troubles prevented them from getting further than 20 minutes from McMorran Place for a few hours, and then bus had some more trouble as they continued. They were able to push the bus and get it to Ohio before it finally broke down for good. It was looked at by multiple mechanics, by the way, on the way before we got to Ohio. But the team had to sit at a rest stop in Ohio for a few hours. And then finally, they were able to get some rental cars and a U-Haul trailer and pull their equipment and everybody else to the arena, leaving the bus behind, which surely is a later problem and not a right now problem. This game is really the only thing that matters right now as far as the Port Huron Prowlers are concerned. So they got in their vans, they got here, and they pulled up, and I made it up to the broadcast booth after a quick change out of my bus clothes into my suit. I know you didn't get to see it tonight, unfortunately, because I didn't have time to get my camera set up and everything to do anything on camera tonight. So I'm sorry you're missing out on seeing me tonight. But I got up here and there was 5 minutes until warm-ups began. Black Bears took warm-ups as scheduled. First Prowler to take warm-ups was Alex Johnson about 5-ish minutes into it, and then the rest of his teammates started filing onto the ice as the warm-up began and continued. And then they were a little bit late coming out for the start of the game as well, as they got everything together in their room. But then they came out, they absorbed and battled through a strong push from the Black Bears in that first 5 or so minutes, and they were able to sustain some pressure going the other direction as well. But the Black Bears had sustained pressure for long chunks The Prowlers had to just battle through that. And finally, they get their first shot on goal. Tucker Scantlebury scores. Great pass by Alex Johnson to the backside on his second chance to pass that puck. The first one was blocked. So Scantlebury, who now has goals in 3 straight games, has his 6th of the year. Black Bears would respond, though, as Scantlebury got into a fight after that. He's an assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick. But Scantlebury got into a fight. Black Bears ended up with a power play as Scantlebury picked up 2 minutes for goaltender interference right before that fight, and that fight certainly a partial result of that goaltender interference. But Scantlebury to the box, and it was Don Olivieri, who has not played against the Prowlers yet this season, was out the previous 2 games, with his team-high 6th power play goal of the year, 7th overall this season. And Olivieri tied things up at 1 at that point. But the Prowlers kept pushing. Austin Federley able to poke the puck to an area out to center ice, and Stefan Dietze showed off the wheels. And the Swiss national playing his first game for the Port Huron Prowlers, was able to catch up to it. He beat Nolan Egbert 5-0, and DC has the Prowlers up 2-1 through 20 minutes of play. As we take a look at the stats so far in this game, shots just 9-7 in favor of the Black Bears. Each team with a pair of fighting majors, as after the Olivieri goal, Brian Parsons and Cameron Clark got involved. Clark, of course, back from the SPHL, activated yesterday after 4 games with the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. And he and Parsons got into it, so they went to the box for fighting. And there were 4 players in the penalty boxes, 2 on either side, when Dietze eventually scored the go-ahead goal for the Prowlers. But that is where we stand, a 2-1 Port Huron lead through the first period of play. And we'll see if the Prowlers can take a little bit to breathe as well in the locker room. But they've come out with some solid pace at times. And again, they have survived, certainly survived is the word you can use, for some of those shifts in the defensive end, as the Black Bears were able to cycle it around. Maybe the Prowlers still working out those car legs a little bit. We'll see if they can come out for the second and continue to push with this lead. They, certainly with everything going on, not too many people may have expected the Prowlers to come out of the first 20 minutes with a lead. Heck, people may not have expected the Prowlers to come out of the first 20 minutes with the lead just based on where they are in the standings compared to the Black Bears, as Binghamton is the top team in the FPHL, 13-2-1, 37 points. No team in the league better so far this year. But it is Port Huron with the lead through the first period, heading into the second. We'll have much more coming up on the Moses Rosa Smoke Break, storylines, out-of-town scoreboard, and more coming your way next, right here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers, and you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Will Wiggleman back here in Binghamton. 2-1 Prowlers through the first 20 minutes of play. Thanks so much for tuning in with us on the PHP Network tonight, sticking through everything that's going on today for the Prowlers and sticking through us, even though the game time did get pushed a half an hour after everything that went on. But we'll move past that and we'll get into the problems of other teams around the FPHL, which is essentially what most of this storyline segment is going to be, as the Hudson Valley Venom have changed venues for 3 of their upcoming home games this season. First against the Watertown Wolves, that one is tomorrow. Hudson Valley will still be designated as the home team, but that game will be played in Watertown. They've also moved 2 of their home games against Danbury later on this season to Danbury. There's no word on any other home games throughout the rest of the season for the Venom, and that includes a game against the Port Huron Prowlers, as Port Huron was scheduled for one more trip to Hudson Valley. That one coming on February the 21st. Prowlers are scheduled to be in Hudson Valley on the 21st, and then in Danbury on the 22nd. Hat-tricks are in Watertown on the 21st, so it is possible if Danbury Ice Arena is available. There is no hat-tricks game there that night. Prowlers could just play both games in Danbury, but we shall see. Monroe Moccasins have hired their 3rd head coach of their inaugural season. Gary Gill is the new coach after they dismissed Mo Levesque. Moccasins in action tonight in Gill's head coaching debut as they are visiting the Dashers Hockey Club. And we'll take a look around the league now very quickly. Speaking of problems for teams around the league, the Athens Rock Lobsters have had their home opener, much anticipated home opener, postponed. So they will not play this weekend at home against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Atkins Ford Arena, which was being built. That's why the Rock Lobsters haven't had a home game yet. The arena was still being built, brand new. It looks beautiful, and I'm excited to get down there later this month. Prowlers will visit the Rock Lobsters the weekend after Christmas, but the arena failed its certificate of occupancy inspection. That is according to the FPHL League website. So those games will be rescheduled for a later date, and surely they'll have everything in order by the time the Prowlers head down there again. That is after Christmas. There are games that are going on in the locations they're supposed to be going on and started at the times they were supposed to start at tonight. We'll start in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Thunderbirds with a 2-0 lead on the Baton Rouge Zydeco through 20 minutes of play. Clay Keeley and Yuri Pastuka, the goals there for the Birds. Rockers up 2-0 on the hat-tricks in the first period. Cody Oakes and Tristan Wells have scored for Motor City. From what I heard, that game was also delayed with some glass issues behind one of the nets. So you talk about delays, nothing but delays in the FPHL tonight, but Rockers don't seem to phase up to nothing. Down south, it's the Seawolves trailing the Columbus River Dragons 1-0 in the first period in Biloxi. Kirk Underwood has the goal for the Dragons. And meanwhile, at David S. Palmer Arena, the Monroe Moccasins have a 1-0 lead on the Dashers Hockey Club. There's no live stats. There are no live stats right now on the FPHL website for that game. So I just looked at the live stream real quick. But the Moccasins did just score. They have a 1-0 lead on the Dashers. Again, that one being played in the first period. And again, it is 2-1 in favor of the Prowlers through the first 20 minutes of play as teams are hitting the ice. I am very sorry through all the confusion and the chaos. I do not have a trivia question for you tonight. Maybe somebody with a little bit of knowledge in the chat can make up a trivia question for people to answer, but unfortunately, again, no trivia question tonight. I should have one again tomorrow. But Prowlers, again with the 2-1 lead, a spot that not many may have seen them, but Reed Cooper made some good saves in his net. They got some offense from Tucker Scantleberry and Stefan Dietze, and they have the lead. Reed Cooper getting back to his goal crease to our right, 8 saves on 9 Black Bears shots. Nolan Egbert in the goal crease to our left, 5 saves on 7 Prowler shots. Tristan Sim and Tyson Kirkby in the face-off circle. We're underway in period number 2. This one pitched in. Bond after it. He gets there ahead of Frazee. Frazee in on the forecheck though. Able to work it up the wall. Olivieri first on it. Sim caught a piece of him as he tried to spin away. And it's dumped in by Thompson. Delstrom left it in the corner for Parsons. He had to poke it to keep it away from Kirkby. And now Ludwig Thelstrom starts his way up ice. He can skate. Here's Thelstrom working around Bond. And he left it there in the corner as he took a hit, but Stone the only one on it. Kirkby with some room on the right wing side. Spinning into the corner and taken in there by Chartrand. Rimmed around. Stone tried to send it deep down the boards. Stubbs comes up for it. And now Thompson. Head up. Goes across to Anderson fresh off the bench. His shot was stopped by some traffic on the way through, and it landed right in front of Cooper. He covers up for a whistle on a face-off. I'll count that one as a shot on goal for the Black Bears, their 10th of the game. Offensive zone draw coming for Binghamton. Kyle Steffen, who scored an overtime winner against the Prowlers earlier this season, against his number 14 opposite, Kenny Stiles, in the face-off dot, and Stiles able to win this draw. Lockhart to Stiles. Didn't handle the pass cleanly. And Yates works back in. Look down Lockhart to the trailer. Steffen. And Stiles came back to defend. Millette. The boos raining down on him just as they did the first time he was here. Gives to the trailer. Shot blocked off the stick of Stiles. And then Scantleberry behind the cage. Out high. Johnson collects at the line. Slips it to Millette. Over to Lockhart. Off the board. Shot off a stick. Johnson put it in the corner. Stiles around behind the cage to Scantleberry. At the side of the crease, he scores! How about another for Tucker Scantleberry? And the Prowlers open up a 2-goal lead. That puck ended up behind the net, and Scantleberry, right the side of the post, found a hole somewhere in Nolan Egbert, and he slips home his 2nd of the game, 7th of the season, and 4th in the last 3 contests, including this one. And that off of all the hard work down low by the Prowlers. Continuing to cycle that puck around. And Port Huron rewarded early on in period 2. This one slid softly in. Petroditson turning away from Mott, able to hand it off to Graham, tried to poke it up to Dietze, swooping in to intercept is Clark. But he flubbed his pass back to the point. Here's Dietze working one-on-one against Poirier. Dietze tried to make a move, lost the handle, and he plays it down behind the net towards Graham. Hopped over his stick, and it's stolen by Emery. Chartrand collects and dumps into the corner. Prowlers making a change as Kenny Stiles and Alex Johnson pick up the assist on Tucker Scantleberry, 2nd of the game. Oh, that was a little dicey for Emery as he left it right at the side of the skate of Egbert. That one off the post as Cooper made the save. Caden Henry came flying in all by himself. Cooper got just enough, and it hit right where the post and the crossbar meet. That was close. It stays a 3-1 game. And again, Cooper getting just enough of that shot. Oh, that clean off the bar, no question. That one didn't go in. It seemed like a couple of Black Bears started on that face-off too quick, but they dropped it and decided to go with it anyway. Prowlers don't mind. They're in the offensive zone. Chartrand played it off of Egbert, then Frazee tried to put it back on net. Hit the side of the cage. Sim trying to push his way out in front, couldn't do it. And now Thompson, 1-on-2. He tosses it in. Cooper plays it there, over to the corner. Chartrand puts a shoulder into Thompson. Kept in at the line by Bond. Olivieri tosses it to the net on his backhand, and it's gloved out of the air like an outfielder by Reed Cooper. And now Thompson and Chartrand getting into it a little bit. Those two fought at the end of the last game between these teams. A 2-0 Black Bears win. As I've said a couple of times, this one has been testy early. Another offensive zone draw for Binghamton. Shots 3-2 Black Bears in this period so far. Stiles and Kirkby in to take the draw. Comes to Johnson on the boards. Tried to wrap it around, turned it over, but Thompson couldn't center for Kirkby. No, he does it, he scores! On the second opportunity, Austin Thompson able to feed the Black Bears captain in front, and just like that, it's a 1-goal game again. As the Prowlers turn it over behind their net, Kirkby picks up his team-high 13th goal of the season. He came in tonight with a point in 3 of his last 4 games, 7 points in that span. He continues his red-hot start. He was named the FPHL's Player of the Month earlier today, as the league announcing those awards today. Kirkby also did get to play a game with the Adirondack Thunder in the East Coast, or ECHL, last weekend, so he missed the Friday game in Watertown as Olivieri clapped it right at Alex Johnson. Olivieri trying to dangle through a few Prowlers. And now Johnson skates up with it. He dumps it in. Bond. Now, actually, it's Stone, as that one took a weird hop and ended up off the back of the cage. Now it's Bond. And Bond, watched by Reggie Millette. Long pass off the boards, or off the glass, but Olivieri blew a tire as he entered the Prowlers zone, so Parsons wins the race for icing. We played just over 4 minutes in period 2, each team with a goal. It's 3-2 Prowlers. Thompson picking up the only assist on the goal by Kirkby. Graham and Kirkby on this face-off. A rare offensive zone draw for the Prowlers. One back by Kirkby. That was Dietze in on the forecheck behind the net. He got tripped up. Kirkby tosses it in off the back glass. Sits behind the cage. Thelstrom first on it. Fanned on the pass. Now he's able to get it up to Dietze, who got it right back from Matt Graham. Dietze trying to dangle around Steffen. Handed off to Parsons. Whips a pass across. That was behind Graham. He has to turn away from a check. Steffen able to work it out of the zone. And Thelstrom recollects for Port Huron. And then Thelstrom lost it. Stubbs. Steffen didn't get all he wanted on that attempt. Now the Prowlers look to work their way out. Here's Graham. Has Stiles with him, fresh off the bench. Graham over to Federley, the trailer. Shot knocked down by the blocker of Nolan Egbert. Weber up to Yates. Has Weber going to the net, tried to send it there off a Prowler stick. Graham slipped it through, tried to get to Federley, but instead bounced down behind the Prowler goal. Fans starting to "Let's Go Black Bears" chant. Anderson from the outside. That was blocked up in traffic, and Johnson rescues it. Port Huron looking for an outlet. Johnson up towards Federley, but it's dumped right back in. Federley and Graham need changes, and now they finally get them. This one finds its way all the way to Reggie Millette, fresh off the bench. Rink-wide feed on the tape of Styles. Tossed down behind the cage. Emery over to Poirier. Scantlebury was dumped in the blue paint. Meanwhile, the Black Bears trying to start an offensive rush. Sirota and Petrovitsin got tied up. The fans in green incensed that there's no penalty. Prowlers up with numbers. Lockhart trying to make a pass to the outside. That hit a Black Bear stick. Millette tied up with a couple of green jerseys. Comes around to the near side. Heinzel pinching in from his defensive position, trying to keep it deep, but Mott the only one on it for Binghamton now. And Emery steps out. Pass is too far ahead of its intended target. Tossed out though by Poirier. This one continuing to get chippy. James tried to hand off for Sim, and Sim stick handling through some green jerseys. Now it's poked back towards Petrovitsin, chased by Kirkby. Quick up looking for Chartrand. Oh, that was off his stick. Olivieri holds at the red line, and he dumps it around. Cooper has Thompson coming in on him. He gave it off to Heinzel. That one almost slipped out in front. Petrovitsin spun around and had this puck taken by Kirkby. Heinzel after it in the corner. Slid it out to Sim, and now on for James. James trying to make a pass back to Sim. That one off a skate. And Kirkby turns it the other direction. Thompson working on Thelstrom. And Thompson took a shoulder from Chartrand. Still held up along the half wall. Now slid down to Stubbs. In the corner, out for Steppen. That didn't work. Now ball on a shot. Stopped by Cooper. There's a delayed penalty coming against the Prowlers as Egbert goes to the bench for the extra attacker. Stolen between his legs for Bond, and he lost it. And they will blow it dead as Chartrand touches up. He's the one getting the penalty. And we'll have a Black Bears power play when we come back. Each team with a goal. Early on in the second period, you're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not...
A Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work. Work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Back here in Binghamton, 3-2 Prowlers, 12:23 to go in period 2. But the Black Bears going to their second power play of the game. They are 1 for 1 so far tonight. Daniel Chartrand in the box for a rough. I missed it, but there are 2 referees and just one of me, so they were able to pick it up. And Port Huron will have to get a kill if they want to stay in front. That unit that scored for Binghamton out there right now, including Don Olivieri. You don't see him on his screen, on your screen right now, but he's lined up just inside the blue line. All the way at the left, you can see part of him now. But Federley and Kirkby, the 2 captains, set to draw, and Kirkby wins it back right to Olivieri. Wines makes the drive over to Bond. Now down to Kirkby on the right wing side. Bond up top, over to Olivieri. Bond wants the one-timer. Now he'll switch spots and take the drop from Olivieri. Olivieri once more. Down to Kirkby. Thompson right at the top of the blue paint, battling with his number 25 opposite Johnson. Comes across to Olivieri. Now Olivieri chased by Sim. Kirkby. Drop for Olivieri. Tried to leave it for Clark. Wasn't a clean exchange, but Clark still able to keep it alive. Olivieri, backdoor feed. That was taken away by Lockhart after it was partially impeded by a stick in front, and it's cleared down ice by Brett Lockhart. Black Bears trying to catch the Prowlers in a change. Instead, it's Port Huron with numbers. Lockhart in front, saved by Egbert on Scantleberry, who's bidding for a hat trick. And now Binghamton has a 2-on-1. Thompson with Clark, he floats it over, and the pass evades Cam Clark's stick. Thompson wraps it around to Steffen as Binghamton sets back up. 45 seconds left to go on the penalty to Chartrand. Here's Thompson in front, and Cooper got his paddle on the pass. He'll dive out to cover it up. 41 seconds to go on this Binghamton man advantage, and Tucker Scantleberry got a good chance. Black Bears tried to quick up to catch the Prowlers in a change. It was cut off by Lockhart, and he started the rush the other way, and Nolan Egbert had to come out and make a big save, short-handed chance by Tucker Scantleberry. This one won back by the Black Bears, but lofted over the head of Stubbs. So Binghamton has to regroup. Stone, watched by Federley, up for Steppen. As Binghamton has its other unit out there, Steffen's pass stopped by Graham. And now Stone, looking for a return feed to Yates. He has him. Yates, all the way around towards Steffen. Now back pass to the point. Stone across to Stubbs. Stubbs out high. Stone watched by Graham. Down for Stubbs in the slot looking for Anderson. That one couldn't let it go, and now it's shot from the side of the net. Bounces up in the air. And the Black Bears think they've scored, but a penalty coming up against CJ Stubbs. I'm not even sure if that puck went in or not. I thought it may have hit the crossbar, but either way, CJ Stubbs is going to the penalty box, and right after the Prowlers kill off the man advantage, they'll go to their second power play of the night. They are 0 for 1 so far. And the fans giving it to the referees once again. Prowlers start with their top unit as Stubbs shoved down a Prowler right at the side of the cage as he shot, right before he shot that puck. Port Huron to the man advantage. It's Johnson. He lost the handle. It's cleared down by Kirkby. Reggie Millette takes the handoff from Cooper. Hearing it from the fans as he hands off to Federley, who gives it back. Millette floats it towards Sim. He couldn't bring that pass in, and it's sent back out. Federley, watched by Clark in the high slot. Waits for the breakout to develop. And now Federley up to Millette. He slows up as he gets the line, but his pass blocked and sent down ice. Prowlers haven't gotten anything going. 50 seconds now gone in their power play. Millette turning away from Mott. Sent a rink-wide feed towards Federley. Egbert plays it over to Anderson, and he claps it down ice. Clark waiting for it at the Prowler blue line. They call it onside. That one was close as well. And now Scantleberry working up the left wing side. Stops up at the blue line. He couldn't find a teammate. And this Prowlers power play getting absolutely nothing done. 35 seconds left on it. Lockhart weaves his way in. Brett Lockhart dumps this one all the way around. Scantleberry waiting for it on the near side. Tried to bounce it down low to Chartrand. But it's lofted out once more. Delstrom to Lockhart. Now Frazee works his way in. On the backhand, trying to slip it through. Frazee wrap around, and he didn't take the extra step to put it on net as he slipped it right through the crease. Lockhart back past Delstrom, broke his stick, comes to Scantleberry, he scores! A hat trick for Tucker Scantleberry, and he puts the Prowlers up 4-2. Just as the penalty was expiring, off the broken stick shot for Ludwig Thelstrom. It bounced to Scantleberry at the near post. And the Prowlers back in front by 2 goals. First hat trick of the season for the Port Huron Prowlers. Scantlebury did have one last year in Mississippi. It's the first hat trick for the Prowlers since January the 6th of 2024. That was Mitch Jones in a wild 9-5 loss in Carolina. Black Bears looking for the response. Poirier lost the handle, and here comes DC. 1-on-1, now 2-on-1. Federley joining him. DC a shot, saved by Egbert, and the rebound just past of Austin Federley. Now DC knocks it off of Emery's stick, but he was all by himself with his line mates making a change. Stiles trying to settle down that puck. And now Steffen works his way in. Shot stopped by Cooper. A penalty is coming up against Kenny Stiles. Now Stiles is after a Black Bear, and this one getting ugly. Stiles has his gloves off, and now the Black Bear does as well. Stiles and this Black Bear throwing lefts. Wild lefts. It looks like it's Stubbs. As I finally see the number. Stiles with another left. Now he has a right. And now Stubbs going in with the right hands. Now Stiles back with a couple of rights. And now they'll separate them as Kenny Stiles had the original penalty coming to him after he took down, I believe it was Poirier in the neutral zone. And then he went after CJ Stubbs, and those two dropped the mitts. I didn't see what started that second fight, or the fight. It looks like Stubbs just went right after Stiles, as they're showing the replay here on a different angle here on the big board in Binghamton. We want to thank the Black Bears for the use of their cameras tonight. We'll get this all sorted out. Prowlers up 4-2. We'll be right back.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's! SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here in Binghamton, nothing has been put up on the scoreboard. So the Prowlers, at least right now, may have gotten out of it, but may have gotten out of the penalty, or at least out of going short-handed, but the referees are still discussing it. Now, if this does get evened up, I would assume it would be 4-on-4, with Stiles getting the original penalty for taking down Poirier in the neutral zone, and then Stubbs maybe getting a 2 for roughing or something along those lines as he went after Stiles. And then Stiles and Stubbs, of course, will get 5 minutes each for fighting, and they earned it. That was a heck of a bout. Both sides throwing some good punches and landing some good ones and showing off the stamina. That was a long fight between Stubbs and Stiles, our third scrap of the night. And if you thought the Prowlers might be tired and a step slow with everything that went on today, you would be mistaken, as Port Huron has opened up a 4-2 lead, and they've been right in there on the chippiness as they show the replay again and again here on the board. Of course, the referees are not allowed to look at the replay to make any kind of determination for their call, as video replay is not available in most rinks in the FBHL. This just happens to be a special one here in Binghamton that used to house a number of AHL teams. As now Kenny Styles is being asked to leave. Stubbs is still in the penalty box. So that does not bode well for Styles' night. And it looks like they have 5 minutes up on the board for Kenny Styles and 2 for CJ Stubbs. So that would mean 2 minutes of 4-on-4 and then a 3-minute Binghamton power play. Well, maybe they got Styles on a slew foot. That is the only way I could see him getting 5. Well, it looks like, again, we'll have some 4-on-4 action here. No penalties have come down on my sheet quite yet. I'll let you know exactly when they do. That goal for Tucker Scantlebury, by the way, they rule 1 second after the power play expired. So that was an even strength goal for Tucker Scantlebury, which the Black Bears certainly not happy about as far as their plus-minus goes. Nikita Petroditsin will serve the 5 for Kenny Styles. As Kirkby and Federley take the face-off, Kirkby wins it back. We'll start some 4-on-4. Johnson and Kirkby tied up. Millette bounced it back behind the net, but he gave it right to Kirkby. Johnson right in on him. Kirkby tried to come out with it. Out high, Bond faked the drive. Now he tried to send a wrister down low, and Millette got his stick in the way. Lockhart trying to escape, gave it back to Johnson. Kirkby right there, a little bit of a dangerous pass. And now it's up to Federley. So Stubbs gets 2 for instigating. Styles a 5-minute match penalty for the slew foot. And that will certainly be looked at by the league. Lockhart caught a stick up high from Olivieri. And the Prowlers will go up a man 4-on-3. And that complicates everything. And if Lockhart is bleeding, that would take care of nearly all of the rest of the Black Bears, or take out nearly all of this Black Bears power play. Actually, they'll call it a cross check, not a high stick, so the blood notwithstanding. But it is a Prowlers 4-on-3 man advantage, and it will be 4-on-3 for 1 minute and 10 seconds, and then 4-on-4 for 50 seconds, and then we'll get to the Black Bears power play after that. The Prowlers have Graham, DC, Johnson, and Millette out there right now. Black Bears killing with Bond, Stone, and Steppen. Here's Millette up top. Over to Johnson. Watched by Steffen. DC's on the near side. Graham's in front of the net. They get it to DC. Takes the shot off the bar, I think, or Egbert, not sure. Good keep by Alex Johnson as the Prowlers look to keep working, but Stone intercepts that pass, and he dumps it all the way down. Egbert may have gotten a piece of that DC shot with the knob of his stick, but either way, it stays out as DC gave it away to Kirkby. Here's Chartrand on the back check. Great play by Daniel Chartrand to get the boots going back towards his own net. Now Johnson works in. Reggie Millette is getting a penalty, and now Johnson getting into it with Anderson, Kirkby in there, and Chartrand as well. So now Millette to the penalty box. That will take care of the rest of the Prowlers power play. And we'll have some 3-on-3 hockey for 16 seconds. And there'll be 4-on-3 for the Black Bears. And then I believe a 5-on-3 at some point for Binghamton as well. I don't know, we have 4 penalties up there, 2 on each side at the moment. As Millette bumped into a Black Bear on the blue line away from the puck. So we do have some 3-on-3 for 16 seconds until Stubbs is sent out of the penalty box. Interference the call against Reggie Millette. And that Prowlers power play lasted just 54 seconds. Off the draw, Parsons. Watched by Thompson. Federley and Graham ran into each other, and the crowd enjoying that as Parsons gives it up to Austin Federley. Now it's a Black Bears power play as Stubbs steps out of the box. Graham winds over to Federley, and he'll take as much time as he needs, and saucers one all the way down on Egbert. He just goes down to the butterfly to block it. The quick up is for Thompson. Has Kirkby going to net, sent it there. Kirkby stopped by Cooper, who dives back out with the blocker to cover up the puck, and now we have another scuffle. Three aside down by the Prowlers blue paint. As Cooper made the initial save, the puck lay there for a second before Reed Cooper was able to jump back with his blocker to get it on top. This is a 4-on-3 power play for the Black Bears. It will be 5-on-3 in 29 seconds when Olivieri steps out of the penalty box, and 5-on-3 for just under a minute, about 54 seconds, and then Millette will step out of the penalty box. And then we'll still have some time left on Kenny Stiles' penalty, which is being served by Nikita Petroditsin. I hope that all made sense. Maybe you need a pen and pencil to, or paper and pencil to write that all down and figure it out. This one slipped out to the middle of the ice. Stone collects for Binghamton. And now Stone walking the line. Down to Yates. Walks up top, gives it across to Steffen, has Anderson in front. Steffen switching spots with Stone, gives it to him, saved by Cooper. Rebound poked out. Yates swung and missed at the loose puck as Johnson whipped on the clearing attempt, but then Yates whipped on the shot. Olivieri out of the box, it's 5-on-3, and the drop pass is to him. Olivieri across to Steffen, walks in, down to Anderson, out high Stone. Olivieri has Heinzel looking at him. Now Yates, Olivieri, it wasn't in the wheelhouse. Olivieri, a wrister off the back glass and poked over to the far half wall. Steffen, washed by Chartrand, sent it towards the net, save made by Cooper, and Stone on the rebound. 17 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Steffen, Olivieri, one-timer, and he rose it too tall. Steffen just able to keep it alive on the half wall. Got it down to Yates. Johnson came in to disrupt, but Yates pulls it off. Here's Yates to Steffen, walking in, makes a move around Johnson. Steffen in front, saved by Cooper, and then they score. Jesse Anderson, just as Reggie Millette stepped out of the box, makes it a one-goal game again. Black Bears will still be on the man advantage because the penalty to Stiles is a major. And Jesse Anderson has his third goal of the year. He scored his first two of the season last Saturday against Watertown. The Prowlers just barely did get through the 5-on-3, but now they'll have to kill off another minute and 13 seconds of 5-on-4 time, which again, the Black Bears can score as many times as they want on. So, Black Bears back within one. We approach 3.5 to go in period 2. It's been a wild game so far, and Binghamton is offside at the Prowler line with exactly 3:30 on the clock. We'll take a break. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
3.5 to go in period number 2. Binghamton still on the man advantage for 1 minute and 2 seconds. Now the faceoff will be outside the Prowlers zone after the offsides. And maybe we'll get some 5-on-5 hockey at some point in this game. Haven't had any since that scrap between Stiles and Stubbs that came over 5 minutes of game time ago. Bond goes up to Kirkby on the left wing side. Tried to make a pass, but it went off his intended target skate. Scantleberry couldn't get it deep. And now Bond across to Thompson. He backhands it in. Cooper out to leave it for Lockhart. And he lofts this one the length of the ice. Egbert out to play it. Scantleberry watching him. And Egbert will go over to Olivieri. Olivieri weaving up. Sends this one all the way around. And that one taken by Thelstrom. He slides it out of the zone. Bond gets there just a step ahead of Chartrand. Final seconds ticking off. The penalty being served by Petroditsin. Here come the Black Bears. Sirota to the net, and Cooper covers it up. And that's going to do it for the penalties. The only one still sitting in the box is CJ Stubbs, serving his 7 minutes, 5 for fighting, and he already served the 2-minute minor for instigating. So we will have some 5-on-5 hockey. How about that? A novelty. Oh, the Prowlers aren't sure about it. They only have 4 on the ice right now. Now Tristan Sim steps out. They drop it. Sim wins the faceoff back, and Thelstrom rims it up towards Millette. He couldn't handle it cleanly. Now Thelstrom back behind the goal. Heinzel looking towards James. Henry stepped in front of him. Comes back around to the far side. Mott up to Weber. And now Mott. Henry reversed towards the net, off the side of the cage, and collected by Sim. But his saucer pass was knocked down by Sirota. Sim this time plays it off the boards for Heinzel. Sent it up, kept in by Anderson to the net, and it's gloved down by Reed Cooper. The Prowlers can't get it out of their own end. They'll switch up both the forwards and the defense pairings. Black Bears will switch things up as well up front. Still a 1-goal hockey game. It's been a good one here in Binghamton. Steppen and Graham in on the dot. Graham wins it back. Lockhart turns the corner. Trying to get it back to Graham. That wasn't a clean exchange. Clark couldn't give it to a teammate. It's worked up to DC. DC with 3 Black Bears around him. He sends it down deep. Clark tried to one-hand it up the boards. Anderson after it in the corner. Now DC with a steal. He has his stick lifted. Couldn't make a play on it. DC able to poke it towards Federley. Trying to pull it off the wall right towards Egbert. He sticks it to the sideboards. Lockhart, D to Johnson. Down low, Federley. Back towards Johnson. Traffic in front. Johnson floats it that direction. Graham towards DC. Trying to make a pass out. It ends up on Chartrand's tape fresh off the bench. Now Graham whips it out high to Johnson. Port Huron making a change. Sent down to Graham. Tried a backdoor feed. Had Chartrand there, but that puck hopped up on him just a bit. This one pitchforked out by Weber. And back to Prowler ice. Final 44 seconds ticking off the clock of this second period. Glove down by Kirkby at the Prowler line. And he just lofts it into the protective netting out of play. And it sits there right atop the glass in the netting. 34.4 seconds left to go in period 2. Coming up in the Moses Roses Smoke Break second intermission report. We'll talk about everything that's gone on in this game so far. Goals, assists, fights, all of it. And we'll also take a look at some out-of-town scores, Prowlers' upcoming schedule, and more. It's all coming up on the PHP Network intermission report. As Cooper stops this one behind his own net. He leaves it there. It's moved up by Parsons. Chartrand on for Frazee. Frazee drags on Bond, but Bond blocked his centering feed. This one lofted out Parsons. And that one just on sides for the Black Bears as they pulled it in. Final 4 seconds. Parsons just trying to staple Olivieri to the glass. He will, and time runs out. That will do it for the first 40 minutes here in Binghamton. It's been testy. We've seen goals, we've seen fights, we've seen plenty of penalties. And in the end, it is 4-3 Port Huron. Shots on goal in that middle frame favoring Binghamton 13-9. Each team with a pair of goals. And it's still a 1-goal advantage for the Prowlers heading to period 3. Coming up in the Moses Roses Smoke Break, we'll chat about everything that went on. As I just mentioned, lot to talk about in this Moses Roses Smoke Break. We'll also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, all the out-of-town scores, and much, much more is all coming up right here on the PHP Network. But for now, it is 4-3 Port Huron as we get set for the second intermission here in Binghamton. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game on Friday, December the 13th, as they host the Motor City Rockers on CL Spirit Night with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. There will also be a post-game jersey auction where you can win specialty CL Spirit themed jerseys off the back of your favorite Prowlers, but you have to be in the building to be a part of that auction. So get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan the QR code on your screen now. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan the QR code on your screen now. It'll be a part of the Prowlers' 10th anniversary season. Prowlers with the lead heading into period number 3. They'll talk about it in the locker rooms. We'll talk about it up here, and we'll do it next here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Welcome back to Binghamton. It's been a wild one in all kinds of ways. 4-3 Black Bears through 40 minutes of play. Time now to take a look back through this one so far, as it is a 4-3 game for the Port Huron Prowlers, a 1-goal lead. And Tucker Scantleberry has 3 of them for Port Huron, as he has a hat trick through the first 40 minutes of play. I'm just looking at the stat sheet right now. They have one of the goals wrong. That second goal for the Prowlers should be Dietze from Federley. So that second goal for the Prowlers is in wrong. So,
Which is the which
okay.
One are you telling me?
The second goal, pardon me one
Second
moment,
goal in the second?
was 29 from 19. I think it looks like they double did the third goal.
Because the last goal for Port Huron was not a power play.
No, second goal for Port Huron, back in the first period. Pardon me one moment, folks. Sorry about that. Trying to make sure that we have everything correct here on the live stats, and that Stephen Dietze gets credit for the obvious breakaway goal that he scored. But as we move along here in the intermission report, Tucker Scantleberry is currently getting credit for that goal. He wasn't on the ice. Neither were Kenny Stiles or Alex Johnson, who are getting credit for the assist. But right now, Scantleberry with 3 goals for Port Huron, at least that we have seen. And we'll try to, again, get all of that fixed here. But let's take a quick look at the stats so far through 40 minutes of play. As Black Bears are up on shots right now, 22-16, not too much in the way of shots on goal. Well, it's been Binghamton's power play that stepped up. They scored 1 goal just as a 5-on-3 expired. They scored the other one on a Don Olivieri one-timer all the way back in the first period. And that's really been what's kept Binghamton in this game, has been their very, very good power play. And Prowlers did only give up 1 goal on the Kenny Stiles 5-minute major. And they are still up by a goal here as we get set for period number 3 in Binghamton. And those penalty totals are certainly adding up here in tonight's game. Tucker Scantleberry 1 assist away from the Gordie Howe hat trick. He already has the standard kind, as I mentioned. Alex Johnson has a couple assists as well for the Prowlers in this game. And meanwhile for Binghamton, they've spread it around. Jesse Anderson, the only Black Bear right now, credited with multiple points. He has the Gordie Howe hat trick, a goal, an assist, and a fight tonight as he dropped the mitts with Scantlebury all the way back in the first period. We will take a timeout here on the PHP Network, try and get everything sorted up here on Press Row, and we'll be right back with some more of the Intermission Report.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Back here in Binghamton, second intermission rolling along. And here on the PHP Network, I'm Will Wiggleman taking you through it. It is 4-3 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers in what has been a wild game in every sense of the word. And the Prowlers trying to steal some points here from Binghamton on the road. Again, Prowlers have not won a game outside of the state of Michigan yet this season. And could tonight be the night against the top team in the league with everything going against them? We'll see. Again, still 20 minutes left to go. See if the Prowlers can hang on and find themselves a victory. We'll be back here tomorrow night against the Black Bears. That one will actually be 7 p.m. And we'll have it here for you on the PHP Network. Next weekend, they're back home, a home-and-home with the Motor City Rockers. And that starts the first time the Prowlers are home for back-to-back weekends, as the following weekend, right before Christmas, they'll host the Mississippi Seawolves. But again, next weekend, Motor City Rockers home and home. Prowlers 3-0 against the Rockers this year, and they will try to extend that again tomorrow night against the Binghamton Black Bears. And they'll be right back here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Let's take a look around the FPHL. 4 games going on, 1 fully postponed. So if you thought a half-hour postponement was bad for tonight's game, how about an indefinite postponement, as they will have to reschedule both of this weekend's games between the Athens Rock Lobsters and the Blue Ridge Bobcats, as the Rock Lobsters' new arena, the Atkins Ford Arena, their new arena that was just built, has not been passed by the inspectors. It is not up to code, and people cannot occupy it safely, according to the people down in Athens, Georgia. So, no games this weekend, and the much anticipated home opener will not go down this weekend for the Athens Rock Lobsters, as they fixed everything on the goal sheets for the Prowlers. Stephen DC with his goal. Tucker Scantleberry, 3 goals. Alex Johnson, a couple of assists for the Prowlers. Moving back to the out-of-town scoreboard, it's still 2-0 Thunderbirds through 40 minutes of play. No goals in that middle frame in Winston-Salem between the Birds and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Danbury Hat-Tricks have scored 3 straight, and they have a 3-2 lead over the Motor City Rockers in Fraser. They scored 1 in the final minute of the first. That belonged to Johnny Ruiz. And then Vadim Frolov and Connor Woolley both scored in the first minute of the second period. So it's a long time as far as regular time goes, because you have the whole intermission in between. But as far as game time goes, it turned out to be just over a minute and 16 seconds exactly for those 3 goals of game time, again stretched over the end of the first and start of the second. But Danbury has the lead as they play in the middle frame. Hat-Tricks swept the Prowlers in Port Huron last weekend and are trying to continue their success in Michigan. We move along. Mississippi has tied its game with the Columbus River Dragons 1-1 as they play in the second period. Blake Keller with the goal for the Seawolves early on in period number 2. And they figured out how to do the live stats in Danville as the Dashers Hockey Club of Danville, Illinois is tied up with the Monroe Moccasins at 1 as they play in the second period. Corey Cunningham, former hat-trick, has the goal for Monroe. Jacob Gagnon with the goal for the Dashers. And of course here it is 4-3 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We're still a few minutes away from the teams taking the ice here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Prowlers trying to pull off what would be a bit of a stunner, as the Black Bears have been as hot as any team in the league. They've won 3 straight, but they are 8-1-1 over their last 10 games. They're 6-1-1 here at home, 13-2-1 overall. Top team in the FPHL. And meanwhile, as I mentioned a little while ago, Prowlers have yet to win a game outside of the state of Michigan. They won just 1 road game, and that was in Fraser against the Motor City Rockers. They've lost 2 straight. They've dropped 5 of their last 6, have the Prowlers. And now coming up against the top team on the road, and they've certainly had a pretty good performance so far. And we'll see if they can finish it off here in the final 20 minutes of play as the Black Bears are taking the ice. We should see the Prowlers step out of the locker room just a bit as well, as Reed Cooper leads his squad out now. And we head to period number 3 here in Binghamton between the Prowlers and the Black Bears. Shots right now favoring the Black Bears 22-16. Reed Cooper getting the crease set down to our left. He has made 19 saves on 22 shots. Nolan Egbert skating over to his bench with a water bottle down to our right. And he's made 12 stops on 16 Prowler shots. Port Huron has scored multiple goals in back-to-back periods, which is something that they've struggled with. Certainly offensively, they've struggled overall this season, as they've scored multiple goals in the first period, for just the 5th time this year, multiple goals in a second period for just the 4th time this season. And they've also hit 4 goals, which they've only done a few times this year. Prowlers have scored 4 or more goals in 5 games this season, and they are just 2-2-1 in those games so far this year. The horn has sounded. We're ready to go. Period number 3 from Binghamton between the Prowlers and the Black Bears is underway. Brian Parsons looks to start it up. That one went off a skate, and Sim comes back for it. Reverse for Thelstrom. Headman feed finds Chartrand. He dumps it in, sidesteps a check from Stone. Now Sim first on it. Plays it around behind the cage. Stone and Chartrand locked up there in the corner. Stone works it to Bond. And he reverses up to Olivieri. Taps it through his legs to Thompson. Now Kirkby. Thelstrom comes over to him. Kirkby down to Thompson, centering feed off a Prowler's stick. I don't think he had any teammates in front anyway. And Thompson pulls it off the boards. Over to Weber, one-time blast. That was blocked a little bit painfully by Frazee. He's slow to his skates as Chartrand dumps it in. Prowlers make a change, and Frazee limping off to the Prowler bench right now. They've caught a bit of a stinger there. He's able to get off, though. Prowlers look to work up ice. Sent on to James. Tossed in towards Egbert, and he recollects for a whistle and a face-off, with James and Weber bearing down on him. Minute 13 gone in period 3. That should be the first shot of the period. If they count it as a shot, doesn't look like they will. But either way, Prowlers get an offensive zone face-off. And they have Tucker Scantleberry's line out there. Scantleberry with a hat trick already in this game. He's lined up on the near side wing. James wins it to him, sent it towards the net. Save made by Egbert. Anderson moves it along the wall. Scantleberry in on Steffen, trying to take the puck from him. Yates slides it up to Stubbs. He fires it off the far boards. Millette take it in. Bounced around to the far side. Scantleberry has Yates right on him. Scantleberry trying to lift this one out. 3 Black Bears, 2 Prowlers digging away from that puck, and it comes back deep in the Prowlers zone. Lockhart off the glass, out towards Millette, and ends up on Anderson's stick. Stubbs over to Poirier. He rims this one all the way around. Steffen tried to reach out for it on the other side, couldn't do it, so it comes back to Emery. D-to-D pass, Poirier, tipped in by Caden Henry. And it bounces to Reed Cooper. He'll cover up for a whistle and a face-off. Caden Henry for the Black Bears was on IR for a little bit. Spent some time there, and in the 3 games since coming off of the IR, he has 5 points, including a 3-point night last Wednesday against the Danbury Hat-Tricks in his first game off the IR. Here is Henry, tried to turn it on net, ends up bouncing around to the far side. Clark right there. Looking towards Mott, who's shoved into the boards by Sim. Puck continued to slide along. Henry's stick is in Nikita Petroditsyn's visor, and no penalty is coming up for high sticking with the evidence right there. Maybe they'll say Petroditsyn lifted Henry's stick. That's the only reason why that wouldn't be a penalty. Is, again, you can't get much more obvious than that a stick got up into a player's face and it's stuck in his visor. Again, that would be the only reason why that wouldn't be high sticking, if Petroditsyn was the one that lifted Henry's stick and it got caught up in his visor. But no harm, no foul as it's dumped in. Henry first on it ahead of Heinzel. Dump back around behind the net. Sim try to slide it up towards Chartrand. He waits for it and sends Frazee out. He seems to be skating well after taking that puck to his, what looked like his foot on his last shift. So again, maybe just a bit of a stinger that he had to work off. Oh, that dump caught Chartrand up high as Poirier tried to loft it into the Prowlers zone. He seems to be okay as well. This one dumped around. Petroditsyn takes Clark into the boards. Chartrand heading after it, trying to beat Stone there. And now it's James following it up. Stone takes it away, looking towards Clark, but they couldn't connect. And Port Huron in the midst of a change starts up ice. It's Thelstrom. Makes a couple of moves. Here comes Thelstrom. Dangles, but Stone stood him up. And out comes Thompson. 3 Black Bears, 3 Prowlers as they hit the line. Thompson trying to work around Thelstrom. Poked away from him by Reggie Millette. Millette fights through a couple of stick checks. Gives off to Scantleberry. Has Millette going to the net. Scantleberry curl and drag. Shot goes just over top of the cage. First one was blocked, and he didn't just get too much on the second one. As Stone tried to work it up towards Olivieri. Off his stick and back to Prowler ice. Johnson. Long pass looking towards Millette and Federley. That bounced off the corner boards towards the crease, but it is an icing against the Prowlers. This face-off will come deep into Port Huron territory. Still just 1 shot on net credited in this period, and it belongs to Tucker Scantleberry. And it wasn't on that last chance you saw. It was off that face-off just about a minute and a half into the period. Steffen tried to win it forward. Graham tied him up. And Anderson swoops in from his defensive position to take the puck. Here's Yates pulling up on Graham. Steffen looking for the one-timer. He takes it, and he misses wide. Cooper gathers it in to get another face-off. 4.5 gone in period 3. Prowlers will make some changes ahead of this defensive zone draw. Tristan Sim comes out to center Austin Federley and Stefan Dietze as Matt Graham came off the ice. He's been their normal center for most of this game. One back by the Black Bears. Yates couldn't push it towards the net. Dietze chips it ahead, but able to get back and win the puck is Weber. Touch to Yates. Tried to loft that one in. Ended up going off a couple of bodies. Sims softly off the glass and out, and lands on Anderson's tape. Steffen up to Yates. He's forced to push it around deep. Stubbs to Yates, and his shot stopped by Cooper, knocking it down and covering it up. Great save from Reed Cooper, and he keeps his team ahead. Just over 5 minutes gone in period 3. We'll take a timeout.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Reed Cooper making his 20th save of the game. I had the entire intermission to think of that, and I still couldn't get it right. 1 shot apiece in this third period for either side. Just over 5 minutes gone in it. And another offensive zone faceoff coming for the Black Bears. Sim able to win it back away from Kirkby. Thelstrom tried to slide it up to Chartrand, cut off by Kirkby. This pass couldn't connect with Thompson. Olivieri turning away from Frazee, sent it down low. Good stick from both Thelstrom and Chartrand. Bond tried to dance back in, but his team was in delayed offsides. The Prowlers take the puck. Thelstrom reverse off the backboards. Parsons has to hustle after it. And now Chartrand moves it along, looking for Thelstrom. Good poke by Thompson to keep it from him. And now Olivieri down low to Kirkby. Poked away nicely by Brian Parsons, and Frazee starts up. That one chipped off his stick and into the Black Bears bench. Olivieri gives Frazee an extra shove after the whistle blows. Everybody heading back to their own benches. As both teams make some changes ahead of this face-off just outside of Binghamton territory. Prowlers will send out the line of Luke James, Reggie Millette, and Tucker Scantleberry. James taking Kenny Stiles' spot on this line, as Stiles was ejected for a slew foot back in period 2. Lockhart over to Johnson. Tried to send it in. That one off of Mott, and it lands for Stone. Lockhart grabs the ricochet off the boards. Stone spinning away from James. Bond right on him. And out it comes. Mott working in, and that one offsides against the Black Bears as Clark just a little too quick getting into the zone. He was heading right to the net. And there have been some close onside calls for the Black Bears that certainly could have gone either way in this game. And that time, Binghamton upset that they didn't get the call. They certainly play it close, and obviously the linesmen have a much better view than I do, so I can't make any judgments. As Matt Graham gets set to draw with Chris Mott, Graham wins it back. Petrovitsin sends it over to Heinzel. Looking towards Federley, out of his reach. And Petrovitsin chased out by Clark. Looking up towards Dietze. Now on for Graham. Prowlers moving up 3-on-3. Federley sends it around. Graham collects behind the net. Centering feed. That went off of a Black Bear and ended up bouncing to the far side. Right through the goal mouth. Emery gives it to Poirier. And now Clark. Starting his way out. Clark lost the handle. Graham turns up ice. There's a loose stick out there. And it belongs to a player that has already headed off to the bench, as everyone has their twigs that's out there right now. Emery up to Yates. Working on Thelstrom. Tried to center. Ended up in the corner. Now around to the far side. Thelstrom hustles after it. He gives up to Tristan Sim. Just able to slip that one out of the zone as Jesse Anderson stepped up on him. And Yates gives back to Weber as the Black Bears regroup. Weber curls back, now for Anderson. Trying to make a pass, good stick by Frazee. The pass back to Joel Frazee, slipped through him. And now Anderson in his own zone. Reverse for Weber. Up to Anderson, kicked off his skate and pushed back the other way by the Prowlers. Yates tries to fly in. Gives it to Stubbs. Fires, and he hit the post. He double clutched a little bit. James was run over. Chartrand took a stick from Stubbs away from the play, and Daniel Chartrand is down on the ice, and he is in some discomfort as CJ Stubbs heads back to the penalty box for the second time in this game. The referee down in Binghamton's end caught it, and Chartrand is going to deny some help from his team, from his teammates, as he'll elect to go back to the bench under his own power. And the Prowlers pointing up at the scoreboard. They want 5 minutes for CJ Stubbs. Tucker Scantleberry, the Prowlers assistant captain, talking to one of the referees, and now Stubbs being asked to leave. So this may be a 5-minute power play for Port Huron, as Stubbs is going to the locker room. There's still more than 12 minutes left to go in this game, so unless he got a 10-2 still wouldn't send Stubbs to the locker room, because there's more than 12 minutes out there. And yes, indeed, 5 minutes up on the board for CJ Stubbs, and a ginormous opportunity for a Prowlers power play that is 0 for 3 so far in this game. Kyle Steffen showing his frustration to the referees in front of the Black Bears bench. I think they're going to send Kyle Steffen to the box, as Steffen was standing, or now it'll be Yates, pardon me. So Yates said something on the bench, and he'll head to the box, and we'll see if this affects on-ice manpower. Looks like it will not, so just be 10 minutes against Gavin Yates, but the Prowlers with a 5-minute power play and a huge chance to take back a 2-goal lead. Graham gives over to Millette. Down towards Matt Graham. Trying to play it away from Bond, and he pokes it around to Johnson. Who had the referee get in the way. Thompson came in and threw a hit on Johnson. The referee has his arm up in the air. Alex Johnson still down on the ice. And this will be a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers for at least 2 minutes. Now you talk about an opportunity for Port Huron, but right now the concern is for Alex Johnson, who is being looked at by Black Bears trainer Elise Wilbur, or Black Bears team doctor Elise Wilbur. Johnson, as he's up on a knee, seems to be a little bit more frustrated than injured as he sends the training staff back to the Black Bears bench. He's doubled over, but he heads to the Prowlers bench. And oh boy, you talk about an opportunity. 2 full minutes of 5-on-3 time. Stubbs got a 5-minute match penalty for spearing. And we'll see what they give Thompson. I didn't see the signal from the referee. Stefan Dietze has come on to replace Johnson on this power play unit for Port Huron. And what an opportunity here. Boarding the call for against Thompson. And we'll see if the Prowlers can get themselves some insurance. So it's that same unit out there, Sim, Graham, Millette, and Federley, but now joined by Stefan Dietze. Instead of Alex Johnson off the faceoff, it's Millette. Back to the point to Federley. Now to Dietze. Federley again. Walks, Millette. Over to Federley. Rister, knocked down, into the crease and pushed just wide by Graham. Quickly across, Dietze. Federley unloads the one-timer, but he missed it wide. May have been a shot pass for Matt Graham's stick. Stone upended in the corner, puck underneath him, and it slips out. Federley fakes and goes across to Millette. But then Millette couldn't handle it as Bond came and disrupted. Prowlers able to keep Bond from moving the other direction. They have 1:18 left in the 5-on-3. They'll still be up 5-on-4 after that expires. Federley to Lockhart. Back to Austin Federley. Walks in. Millette fanned on the one-timer. And then that one lofted right out. And Tyson Kirkby is going to the penalty box. Kirkby says that was deflected out, but the referee disagrees, and the penalties are piling up for the Binghamton Black Bears. Their third one in a row here. And the opportunity grows larger for the Prowlers, as Tyson Kirkby is going to the box for delay of game. There's a minute left on the penalty to Thompson that's made it a 5-on-3. And then after that, Kirkby's 2 can start. And it looks like the Prowlers are calling timeout to draw something up here. And why not? Because you have your best opportunity of the game right here to blow it open and put it away. Stubbs for spearing, Thompson for boarding 19 seconds later, and Kirkby for delay of game 1 minute after that. And again, Kirkby's 2 can't start until Thompson's 1 ends. So that means the Prowlers will have a full 3 minutes of 5-on-3 time, unless they score, of course. And after that, even if they don't score, they'll still have 41 seconds left on the penalty to Stubbs. So what an opportunity for the Prowlers. They are 0 for 3 on the power play in this game. But we'll see if they can convert, as they got a good look for Reggie Millette. He just fanned on the puck. And then Kirkby just launched it out of play. Prowlers right away trying to say that it went out of play, and the referee agreed. Kirkby disagreed. It's a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers. Alex Johnson back out there replacing Dietze on this power play unit, back in his normal spot. We have Anderson, Weber, and Stefan Killing for Binghamton. Out of the Prowlers' timeout. Oh, Sim and Stefan on the face-off. And Federley takes it right off the draw, slips it down to Millette. Quickly across Johnson. Federally, Sim. So the Prowlers work it up high. Trying to float it down deep. That went off of Steffen's stick. Weber taken out by Sim, and Tristan Sim is going to get a penalty. So this will go down to a 4-on-3 for the Prowlers. And the parade to the penalty box continues for both sides. As Sim caught a piece of Weber when he tried to move up ice, and at the very least, I think Tristan Sim prevented a shorthanded breakaway as the Black Bears were trying to fly up ice. So 2 minutes to Sim for tripping. And again, it's still a 4-on-3 man advantage for Port Huron. At no point, unless there are more penalties, will the Black Bears go up a man. Or maybe unless there's a goal, I don't even know anymore. It's just been one of those nights. We've had a lot of those nights. We've seen a lot of those nights certainly around the league where everything just gets so confusing you don't even know what's going to happen as far as penalties. Here's Austin Federley pulling up. Walks, gives to Millette. Now Graham down to Reggie Millette. Floats it out high to Federley. Wrist shot off the back wall, and it goes to the corner as Bond batted it out of the air. Federley. Johnson one-timer and a save by Egbert. So the 2 minutes for Anderson is done, but Kirkby's 2 has just started, so Anderson can't come out of the box until a whistle. Still 4-on-3 man advantage for the Prowlers. Federley, back pass to Millette. His shot blocked. The rebound, blocker saved by Egbert, and then lofted down ice by Stone. 51 seconds left on the penalty to Sim, and then he'll come out of the box. It'll be 5-on-3 briefly, and then it'll be 5-on-4 as Weber collects that one and fires it down. So we approach 9 minutes left in period number 3. Thelstrom to Lockhart. Dances in. Working on Steffen. Brett Lockhart. Around to Chartrand. Out high Scantleberry. Over to Lockhart. Thelstrom. Try to move it down to Lockhart. Fan partially on the pass. Thelstrom gets it back though. Now here's Scantleberry. Lockhart winds and fires, and he just missed it wide. That one caroms all the way out of the zone. Sims set to step out of the box. So now it's a brief 5-on-3 for the Prowlers for the next 40 seconds. Thelstrom blocked up by Weber. Chartrand rides his man into the boards. Pokes it out to Thelstrom. 34 seconds of 5-on-3 time. Lockhart, Thelstrom a drive, didn't get all of it. And now Binghamton looking to start a shorthanded rush. Here comes Clark, stepping around Thelstrom. Clark trying to feed Anderson, that didn't work. And now Anderson hustling back to his own end. He gives it to Bond, who works in. Bond a shot off the back wall, right along the ice. Chartrand had it poked off his stick, but right to Alex Johnson. He works in, slows down. And Johnson over to Federley. Kirkby set to come out of the box. That'll be 5-on-4 for the next 40 seconds. Down to Graham. In front, looking for Frazee. And if Frazee was right-handed, that would have been on his tape, but instead he's a lefty. Federley played it off of Clark. And now Frazee takes Clark in behind the net. An aggressive PK for the Black Bears gave the Prowlers all kinds of trouble. And it looks like Port Huron will not get anything on this power play. But here comes Graham, and he's stopped by Egbert. And Matt Graham almost proved me wrong. Now Graham across, and that one blocked by a stick. Two players go down on the half wall. We are back to 5-on-5 as the Black Bears power play comes up with a gigantic kill to keep it a 1-goal game. Here's Yates. Cycling it down and around behind the net. Olivieri left it there, seeing Johnson canceled out. Graham back for Parsons. Up to Alex Johnson. And now Sim kicks it up to his stick. He stops up, played it off of Weber. And now Anderson back behind his own cage. Black Bears have less than 6.5 minutes to go, trailing by 1. Yates works in, and it's knocked off his stick neatly by Lockhart. Played off the boards, but Sim couldn't reach it on the other side. Sirota up to Weber. Now battle ensuing in front of the benches. They'll blow it dead. Millette had a hold of Kyle Steffen, and it looks like they'll take both. We'll sort it all out. Prowlers unable to take advantage of a golden opportunity. They still lead by just 1. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Binghamton, 6:09 left to go in period 3. We'll have some 4-on-4 as Reggie Millette and Kyle Steffen pick up matching unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Prowlers with the opportunity of a lifetime as the Black Bears took penalty after penalty after penalty. But after that first penalty to CJ Stubbs for spearing the 5-minute major, Port Huron managed just 2 shots on Nolan Egbert, and he stopped them both. And they are unable to find an insurance goal, still leading by just 1. And we'll see if they can hold off the Black Bears the rest of the way. 6:09 and left to go in regulation. So we will have 4-on-4. And we'll see where they drop the puck. Looks like it will be at centers. Millette and Steffen were battling away from the puck right in front of the benches. Stefan Dietze ended up in the middle of it completely by accident, but either way, Dietze's out there on the ice, along with Austin Federley for the Prowlers. Federley takes the draw against Kirkby, who wins it back to Bond. It's Kirkby, Bond, Stone, and Henry for Binghamton. Federley, Dietze, Thelstrom, and Parsons for Port Huron. As Henry flies up the left wing side, takes the shot, and that one rides off the stick and out of play. A face-off to Reed Cooper's right. Shots in this period, just 3-2. They actually say that one got all the way to Cooper. Wasn't sure from here. Looked like it got blocked by a stick, but they'll give Reed Cooper credit for another save. As Chartrand comes out to oppose Kirkby for this face-off. Chartrand wins it to the boards, and Johnson, being chased by Kirkby, ends up behind his own net. Now Lockhart plays it off the wall to Scantleberry, who had a hat trick through 40 minutes in this game. And his 3rd goal right now holding up as the game winner. As Lockhart gives it to Chartrand. Quick up to Johnson at the Binghamton blue line. His team in the midst of a change, so he just floats it back to his own end, and Scantleberry plays it there. Thompson flying off the bench to challenge Scantleberry. He gives it up to Tristan Sim. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers if they hurry. Lockhart to Johnson, and that pass just slipped through his stick. Up the other way comes Anderson. Lockhart steps in front of that pass, and then he got blown up by Thompson. Scantleberry wants a piece of Thompson, who isn't interested. And now Parsons comes in to break up a rush for Olivieri. Parsons trying to loft it out. Anderson settles things down. He drops it off for Weber. Watched by Matt Graham, who takes a check at the clock, 26 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Both Millette and Steffen standing in their respective penalty boxes. Clark offside at the Prowler line as Yates was trying to carry the puck in. Under 4.5 to go in period 3. We'll take our final timeout here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast tomorrow, Saturday, December the 7th, when the Prowlers visit the Binghamton Black Bears again. Puck drop is scheduled for 7 p.m. Pregame show will start at 6:45. We'll be right here on the PHP Network, and I promise that one will actually be the 7 p.m. puck drop that we have been looking for, that we were hopefully having tonight, but due to all the travel issues, to push this one to 7:30, and the Prowlers made it, and right now they're holding on to a 1-goal lead with the final minutes waning in period number 3. Scantlebury content to waste all kinds of time as Yates watches him. Now Yates forces him out. Up comes Scantlebury, back to 5-on-5 with Millette and Steffen stepping out of their respective penalty boxes. Weber jumps in front of that pass and hustles up ice. Weber cut off by Parsons. Scantlebury turns his way up. Out come the Prowlers, 3-on-2. Here's Millette to the net, stopped by Egbert as he steered to the corner. Scantlebury able to cycle it down towards James. James all the way around the cage, tried to slip it in front. A sliding block made there by Weber, who has no stick. Now Millette comes in to steal it from Anderson. Now they tie up, and that one goes off a skate and slides back to neutral ice. Fjellstrom collects it there. Kicks off of Fjellstrom's skate. Graham across to Parsons with some skating room. Looking towards Federley. He just tries to get it deep. Stone turning it up ice for the Black Bears. Olivieri on for Kirkby. Working on Johnson. Kirkby a shot. Stopped by Cooper, and he gathers in the rebound for a whistle and a face-off with under 3 to go in regulation. Tomorrow is the Black Bears Teddy Toss night, by the way. So I will have to figure out what to talk about if it gets to that, if the Black Bears do score in tomorrow's game. We have seen teams get shut out on their Teddy Bear Toss night. Think about Baton Rouge last season got shut out on their Teddy Bear Toss night, and the fans just threw them all on the ice in the final seconds of that game. As Thompson had it poked off his stick by Frazee at the blue line, and Binghamton has to reset. Kirkby makes a move in and plays it over to the wall. Thompson and Johnson come together. Kirkby tripped up, and a penalty coming up against the Prowlers. Bond to Stone. Egbert on the bench for the delayed penalty. Stone in no hurry, gives it to Kirkby. And then Kirkby gave it right to Daniel Chartrand. But a big power play coming up for the Binghamton Black Bears, their 5th of the game, and Alex Johnson, the guilty party, to the box. Prowlers power play let them down in this period. Can their PK lift them up? The true balance penalty kill is 2 for 4 tonight. Egbert is back between the pipes, down in the Black Bears' end. We will keep an eye on him. If the Prowlers are able to kill this off, there will be 21 seconds left. And it looks like Brent Sherwood has called timeout. Ahead of this man advantage for his team. Alex Johnson will have to sit a nervous couple of minutes in the penalty box and hope that his team can kill this off after, again, his power play, his team's power play, unable to take advantage of opportunity after opportunity early on in this third period. They could have put that game away, but instead the Black Bears kill off 7-ish minutes, or 5 minutes of power play time, with about 4 to 4.5 of those minutes being 5-on-3 time. And Port Huron still just up a goal. We've seen late tying goals in this building this season. Daniel Chartrand tied the score with 2 minutes left, and the Prowlers ended up falling in overtime in that game, but he got them a point. That was the first meeting between these teams back in October. Chartrand's on the ice right now, and coincidentally, that came right at the end of a Prowlers penalty kill when he scored that goal back in October. Off this face-off, Olivier, the one-timer, gloved and held by Reed Cooper as they go right to Don Olivieri, who unleashed the one-timer for a goal in the first period. So now they'll drop it to Cooper's right. Egbert is now on the bench, so 6-on-4 attack for Binghamton. Kirkby and Federley in on the face-off. It's worth noting that both of the Prowlers' shorthanded goals this season have come on empty nets. Olivieri, one-timer. That one rose too tall, and it caroms all the way down off the glass. Prowlers get 3 killers off as Bond skates it up quickly. He leaves it for Yates. Gavin Yates steps around Thelstrom to the net. Saved by Cooper. And the Black Bears raise their arms in celebration, but Reed Cooper had it underneath. Under 2 to go in regulation. Minute 33 left on the penalty to Alex Johnson. As Yates was able to gallop past Thelstrom into the offensive zone, Cooper stayed right with him. Face off, one back by Kirkby. Olivieri, the one-timer. Stick save by Cooper. Olivieri walks the line. Winds, fakes, over to Bond. Pass to Kirkby, watched by Thelstrom. Kirkby across to Olivieri. Turns it on net, missed it wide. 90 seconds to go in regulation. Bond, down low, off a stick, pops up in the air, and it was batted on Cooper, and he made the save, able to track that puck down. Up high, Bond. Across, Olivieri, a drive, saved by Cooper, and it just got past Thompson at the side of the post. Olivieri again, down low, Yates, comes out, save made by Cooper. Federley with his glove, launches it to the boards. Kirkby fed it across. Olivieri one touches it down with one hand. Now he gets it back from Yates. Olivieri to Bond. Down low, Yates. Up to Kirkby. Olivieri didn't have it in the wheelhouse. Now he shoots. Blocker save by Cooper. Stone to Yates. Continue to move it along. Federley and Kirkby go down. Yates whipping around the zone. Olivieri in front, save, the rebound pops right through the goal mouth. And Graham takes a look, he slides it up to Scantleberry with a hat trick already. It's poked off his stick. Back come the Black Bears, or no, it's Judson right out of the box, but he's offsides as Tucker Scantleberry had a chance for his 4th of the game, tried to make a move, and it was poked off his stick. Oh my goodness. Black Bears with 7 shots on goal, since that timeout and during that power play, and Reed Cooper stopped them all. Oh my. Here we go, 15.9 on the clock. Scantlebury and Kirkby on the face-off. It's tied up. Kirkby gets it back to Bond. Quickly up towards Olivieri. Got past him. Johnson off the glass. Kept in by Steppen. Chartrand trying to get it out. Scantlebury does! And the Prowlers have come into Binghamton and upended the Black Bears. Chartrand with the empty netter to seal it. And he'll beat the buzzer. And the Port Huron Prowlers, with all the adversity, have knocked off the FPHL's top team. That goal for Chartrand will count. And you talk about a gutsy performance for the Port Huron Prowlers. I don't know if they'll call it 4-3 or 5-3, but either way, that is a win for Port Huron there, sending the teams to their dressing rooms. They have put the goal down on the penalty sheet, but the Prowlers with their most impressive win of the season, and again, I outlined everything that went on for them today throughout today. This game being pushed a half hour because of all the travel troubles, and the Port Huron Prowlers, when it didn't look like it would be possible, they get it done, and they come away with a 5-3 victory over the Black Bears. What a game! We'll have much more for you coming up on the post-game show next here on the PHP Network.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Welcome back to Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. The Port Huron Prowlers make a statement with a 5-3 win over the Binghamton Black Bears on the road. Travel troubles, the whole 9 yards. They had it all against them, and they take down the FPHL's top team for their first victory of the season outside of the state of Michigan. Time now to go back through this game from goal by goal as I'm starting the post-game show here on the PHP Network. So we'll try and see if we can leave the camera up for you guys so that you're not looking at a black screen while I'm talking. But we go back to the first period, and it was Tucker Scantlebury opening the scoring. Black Bears had all kinds of pressure to begin the game. They had the first 6 shots on net, and on the Prowlers' first shot on goal, Alex Johnson found Tucker Scantlebury on the backside, and Scantlebury made it 1-0. Reggie Millette picking up the other assist on that goal. Black Bears got back in it, though, as they picked up a man advantage, and Dakota Bond to Don Olivieri, the one-time blast, team-high 6th power play goal of the season, tied things up at 1. But late in the first, Austin Federley one-handed a puck ahead into the neutral zone and told Steppen DC, go get it. And DC went and got it. He beat Nolan Egbert 5-hole. That made it 2-1 Prowlers through 20 minutes of play. Second period came along early on. Tucker Scantleberry, how about another? As he was at the side of the cage, he beat Nolan Egbert right there. And that was his second of the night, as Kenny Stiles and Alex Johnson pick up the assist on that goal. Binghamton responded, though, as Tyson Kirkby scored in front of the net after Austin Thompson slipped it to him after some confusion from the Prowlers behind their own net. And once again, it was a one-goal game. But the Prowlers would go back up by 2 once more. And guess who? It was Scantleberry with the assist from Ludwig Thelstrom and Brett Lockhart after Thelstrom's stick broke on the original shot, and it ended up coming to Scantleberry at the side of the net. He gets the Hattie, first Hattie of the season for the Prowlers, 4-2 Port Huron. Jesse Anderson, though, responded for the Black Bears late in that period. Another power play goal for Binghamton as he was in tight. It was 4-3 heading into the third. And then chaos, penalty after penalty after penalty, as the Black Bears gave the Prowlers a golden opportunity to get some insurance and take a multi-goal lead again, but they were unable to do so. So the Black Bears still had a chance, and they got a late power play as Alex Johnson took a tripping penalty with under 3 to go. But Prowlers kill that one off. Reed Cooper, 7 saves on that man advantage to kill it off. And then Daniel Chartrand hit the empty net, just beating the buzzer. That's the Prowlers' third empty netter of the season. And Port Huron pulls out a 5-3 victory over the Binghamton Black Bears. Take a look at the final stats from this game as Reed Cooper picks up his first FPHL win after making 29 saves. Again, none bigger than those 7 on that Binghamton power play in the third. Prowlers man advantage 0 for 6 in this game, and if you're looking for a negative for the Prowlers, that might be it right there, that 0 for 6 on the power play. We'll see if they can come back tomorrow and get some power play goals, but at the very least, they're going to split with the Binghamton Black Bears and send some shockwaves throughout the FPHL world. But when we come back, one last look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we will wrap this one up right here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Welcome back. Will Wiggleman one final time here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Prowlers with a 5-3 stunner over the Binghamton Black Bears. Time now to take one final look around the FPHL. Before we do, though, give you tonight's 3 stars of the game. Third star was Alex Johnson, as he had 3 assists. Second star, Tyson Kirkby for the Black Bears, a goal and an assist. And, of course, the first star of the game tonight, Tucker Scantleberry, as he had a hat trick. Of course, we've gone over at nauseum already the Athens Rock Lobsters issues with their arena, so we'll skip past them. We'll go to the Carolina Thunderbirds, who held on for a 2-1 win over the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Kevin Zabad got one back in the third for Baton Rouge, but that's as close as they got. Boris Babick made 24 saves in the victory for Carolina. They're in the third period in Fraser. Rockers got back to tied after falling down 4-2. Danbury scored 4 straight goals. Rockers scored 2, but it's Alexander Gemzatov with what right now is holding up as the game winner. And that's a good one. Final minutes in the third. And that's a good one certainly to take a look at once we close out here in just a couple of moments. Mississippi trying to knock off the River Dragons 2-1 in the third period. Brendan Hussey has the only goal of the third for the Seawolves as they're trying to pull off an upset. Moccasins score 3 straight, take a 3-1 lead. Now they're up 3-2 against the Dashers Hockey Club of Danville, Illinois. And they're looking to pick up a road victory. That one's still in action again in the third period. And once again tonight, Prowlers pull off a 5-3 victory over the Binghamton Black Bears. Please do tune in to our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow when the Prowlers visit the Black Bears again. Puck drop will actually be 7 o'clock this time. Pregame show will start at 6:45. We'll have it here for you on the PHP Network. I want to give a shout out to everyone here with the Binghamton Black Bears who made sure I was all set to go, even though they were about to start their broadcast in just moments because of how quickly the timeline went that when we got here. So shout out to everyone from the Black Bears for helping me out, making sure I was all good. They're all professional here. Thank you to the Black Bears for the use of their camera as well. But for now, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the PHP Network.